Have you ever looked around your life and thought, why does this suddenly feel so weird? Not bad, not falling apart, broken, just itchy, weird. Like that favorite sweater you have in your closet that now, when you put it on, suddenly it doesn't fit right and you cannot figure out why. Maybe the goals that used to keep you up at night don't hit the same. Or you're leaving brunch feeling drained by the people you actually love. And you're sitting there spiraling like, wait, am I evolving or am I just overthinking everything? Here's the part that messes with our heads. Nothing dramatic happened. Your life didn't implode, but something in your frequency, the frequency that you're operating, shifted. And now you're living in a version of your life that belongs to a person you don't even recognize anymore. Listen, friend, that weirdness, that is a massive identity shift. Today in the podcast, we're diving into that messy in-between space where the old you is gone, but the new you hasn't quite stuck the landing yet. Because if you don't understand the science and the spirituality behind this, you're going to think you're broken, when really, you're just finally coming into alignment. But before we dive into this juicy topic for March, if this podcast has helped you understand yourself, your patterns, and the deeper mechanics behind alignment in a way that actually makes sense, I would love for you to leave a review. This is the way the podcast gets discovered by other people that are interested in living an aligned life. Plus, it is the easiest way you can support me. Actually, I'm going to read a review that was left as a comment on one of the YouTube episodes. Yes, friend, because the podcast is there. I'm not talking on the TV, right? I'm not, you cannot see me, but you can listen to me. So it's great because if you don't have other platforms, YouTube serves as so. And let me read you the review, and it comes from Monica, and it goes like this. Michelle's podcast, Rewire to Align, has been transformative for me. From the very first episodes, her content has been clear, relatable, and grounded in real life application. Thank you so much, Monica, for taking 2 minutes of your time to write the review, to send me some love. I appreciate you for tuning in every week. And friend, you who are on the other side, listening to this, after you listen to this episode, I want to remind you to leave me your review. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And again, it's the fastest way you can support my work. Okay, now let's get started with today's episode. If you're tired of feeling stuck, disconnected, or held back by old beliefs, and you're ready to start living in alignment with your deepest values, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Michelle Marie, spiritual neurocoach, cancer survivor, and twin mompreneur. On Rewire to Align, I share the neuroscience and spiritual practices that help me transform my own life, guiding you to release limiting beliefs, rewire your mind, and step fully into your sovereignty. Are you ready to live in alignment with who you truly are? Let's rewire, align, and manifest. Hello, friend. Welcome back to Rewire to Align. My name is Michelle Marie, and I am your favorite neuro-spiritual alignment coach. And every Tuesday, we come here to speak about alignment, the coherence between your thoughts, feelings, and actions to create a life that is true to your authenticity. Before starting with today's topic, I want you to know that this is episode 68, and it will be under the spirituality category in the episode catalog. And you can find that catalog in the show notes. And I hope that you're using it because it is a very simple way to binge on your favorite topics. So make sure that you check it out. If you are here for the first time, Welcome, amiga. I hope that everything I speak about here, serves you in your journey to alignment. You see, we all start this growth journey thinking that once we are self aware, life is just going to turn into this beautiful, effortless flow. You know, you believe that. You know, you do. But usually, it feels more like your life is becoming a foreign country. You start feeling a disconnect with things that used to feel completely normal. Your non negotiables change. Have you noticed that? Your desires get a total makeover. Maybe your vision board from January is not the same today. And because it feels so disorienting, your brain tries to tell you that you're failing when the truth is you're actually evolving. And in this episode, we're breaking down why these shifts feel so heavy. The brain and soul reason your system is resisting the change, and why that out of place feeling that we go through when we are growing and in this beautiful journey is actually the ultimate proof that you're finally moving into alignment. And I always like to start with a little story so that I can land everything, every concept in real life. So here it is. Last week was that beautiful eclipse full moon. Remember March 3rd, the 3-3 portal? Everybody was talking about it, the blood moon. Oh my God, the release, this and that and the other thing. So my friends and I decided to go to a gathering on the beach, to a ceremony. It was beautiful. It was deep. I mean, we're talking cacao ceremony, inner child work, constellations, sound healing, meditation. I mean, the works. You can imagine that. And I think that if you follow me on Instagram, you were able to see it in my stories, actually. I put a video and everything. And the moon was amazing. And honestly, friend, I didn't go because my life was falling apart, okay? I went because I could feel myself stepping deeper into this version of me, the coach, the guide, the woman that is holding space for you right now. And when you do this work long enough, you start realizing something. The path that heals you eventually becomes the path you're mentally others through. That shift had been brewing for a while, but I needed a moment to actually mark the exit, and I chose this powerful portal, the 3-3 portal with the blood moon, to do this. And rituals like this one help you mark the moment where you release parts of yourself that no longer fit. I was sitting there during the sound healing. It was so beautiful. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at the ocean after the sound healing and looking at the beautiful full moon at the beach, the waves coming in and out. And I was talking to myself in my head, focusing on the moon. And I said to myself, I release what no longer serves me. I release the part of me that fears stepping fully into my power. I release my ancestral chains and limitations. And all of a sudden, friend, it clicked. Identity shifts are just plain weird. Are just plain weird. Because usually half of your life, it's already sprinting, right, towards the new you, while the other half is still anchored to the old you. And for me, looks like using real estate as the financial bridge, supporting my family while this next chapter grows fully into what I wanted to grow. And I am very grateful for it. I'm very grateful for my 20-some year career in real estate. But I can feel the center of my gravity shifting. My North Star has moved. What excites me, what I'm building, what actually feels aligned It's all evolving, and I can feel it in my skin. And last year was the year of the snake, and I can see that I shed so much of me during 2025. The spaces I want to be in, the people I want to be around, the conversations that actually feel life giving is all evolving. At this point in my life, amiga, I am curating my entire existence. My social circle, what I watch on TV, the music that I listen to, all of it. All of it is being curated, and it all has to match the frequency I'm moving towards now. But I'm going to be very real with you. I'm going to be super real with you here because that curation takes a toll, and I can feel it emotionally, especially when you're married, when you have children like me, right? You're evolving at a warp speed, like fast, and you're looking at your partner, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, like, I love you, and I truly hope you're coming on this ride with me. But as a coach, I know the hardest truth of all, friend. You cannot push growth. You can't. You cannot push growth. And you've seen it in your life when people, when you want to help people, and even though you tell them a million things, nothing seems to stick, right? Because they're not ready. So you cannot push growth. What you can do is lead by example and hold the space, right? And pray that they come with you, especially if you have a partner, if you're married and you have a partner that you love, you want them to come with you. That messy middle where your soul has already arrived, but your 3D life is still catching up, it's uncomfortable as hell. But that discomfort is not a glitch. It's the sound of your life rearranging to fit the person you become. Because, and we're going to talk about this now, is the bulk of the episode here. This is what we are here for. Because when your life starts feeling off, what happens to your brain? Your brain's first instinct is to what, friend? We've talked about this a lot of times here, is to panic and assume that something is wrong. But I want to offer you a different perspective. Nothing is broken. Your identity is shifting. In my Align framework, we look at this as the moment your expanded awareness starts pushing against your old identity. There's a lot of emotions in this moment, but think of it like this. Your subconscious mind is a master organizer. Its only job is to keep your life what? Consistent with who it thinks you are. It organizes your habits. It organizes your relationships, even your income around the old roles you've played and the expectations you have accepted. In science, we call this homeostasis, which is your systems obsessing with keeping things the same because same feels safe. But then you start doing the work. You grow spiritually. You work on your inner child. You expand, right? Your consciousness expands. You start seeing a new version of yourself. You put yourself out there. This is the journey is, you have the audacity to do it, right? Have you have to have audacity. How do you call it? You have to be courageous to do it. And now you start seeing a new version of yourself. And here's the catch. Your awareness expands first, but your subconscious wiring is a slow mover. It's slow, friend. That's the way it is. And for a window of time, you're literally living into realities at once, which is what is happening to me right now. Thank you very much. Even though I have worked on myself so much, every time that there is an expansion, right, I have to go through this. The person you were is still running the background programs of your life, while the person you are expanding into, because she is you and you are her and is your true essence, but you're expanding into her, this person is trying to install new software. And that glitchy, uncomfortable space in between, that's not you being lost, even though you may feel lost, even though you may feel like you're going through, I don't know, through a void or through a rock bottom or something. That is neuroplasticity in action. You're literally rewiring your sense of self. Alignment isn't just a mood board or a manifestation list. Alignment is the process of reconnecting with who can actually hold the life you're calling in, and that person is your essence. It is you and you are her, because alignment isn't forcing change. Alignment is internal coherence. It's when your brain, your subconscious patterns, your nervous system, and the identity you're stepping into finally start moving in the same direction, right? They're working all together in synergy. Your life can only expand as far as your identity allows it to. And that's why alignment always begins with identity. So, friend, when it feels uncomfortable, that's just the walls of your own identity stretching to make room for the new quote unquote you. And I don't like to say the new you because it's your essence, but let's call it the new you for the purpose of explaining better. And this is something researchers and teachers speak about often. Think about Dr. Joe Dispenza's work on breaking the habit of being yourself. Have you read that book? And if not, go to my Amazon storefront, which is linked in the show notes, and get it because you're going to love it. And in this book, he talks about how we literally have to lose our mind, meaning those old subconscious programs, to create a new one. Your brain is essentially fighting to keep you in homeostasis, which is just a fancy way of saying it wants to keep you safe in the known, even if the known is the old version of you that no longer fits and is keeping you in places and situations and with people that no longer serve your purpose. And there's also incredible research by Dr. Lisa Miller, and I have mentioned her before, at Columbia University, who found that our brains are actually hardwired for this kind of spiritual expansion. It's a biological upgrade, my friend. So if you feel like you're failing because things feel heavy, you're actually just in what psychologists call recalibration. And I think 2 episodes ago, I told you this is the recalibration phase. Man, let me tell you, it's a hard phase. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here, okay? It's a hard phase because it's the time that you want to go back to your old self, run back to that safety net. But no means no, friend. We can do it. You're not lost. You're just updating your internal software to match the frequency of your soul, to match the frequency of what is it that you want in life. And that is what alignment is. It's the courageous act of staying in the discomfort, in this discomfort, long enough for your brain and your soul to finally sync up. Amiga, this identity threshold is that messy middle ground that I see women reach right before expansion. And it's also one of the reasons I'm hosting a live workshop in April. Thank you very much. Because understanding identity shifts intellectually is one thing, but learning how to navigate them in a grounded way without doubting yourself or collapsing back into old patterns is something different. And that's what we're going to explore in that space together through my Align framework. However, if you feel ready to work through your identity shift right now, my private coaching container is open and I can only take a limited number of people. And as of today, I only have 2 spaces, so make sure that you're applying. But if you are more of a DIY kind of girl, then my She Who Aligns guided blueprint is for you. This is more than a workbook, my friend. This is a space for you to move yourself from awareness into full embodiment at your own pace, integrating everything. All the links are going to be in the show notes so that you can choose what will work best at this season of your life. Beautiful soul. We've covered a lot of ground today, but if you take something, just one thing away from this beautiful episode, let it be this. Growth doesn't always feel like a celebration. Sometimes it just feels weird. We've looked at how those messy in between spaces where the old you has left the building, but the new you hasn't quite stuck the landing, are actually a biological and spiritual requirement for alignment. Your subconscious is just doing its job, trying to keep you in the version of safe it already knows. So if your conversations feel flat when you're in brunch or when you're visiting friends, if your priorities are doing a 180, or if parts of your life feel like they belong to a stranger, stop asking, what is wrong with me? Or, going into these mental loops that we go to. And instead, I want you to lean in and be honest with yourself, because we know when something is wrong. Truly, we know if we listen to our body. However, what I want you to do is to ask yourself, which part of my identity is upgrading at this moment, right now? Because alignment is not something you force. It's what happens when your internal wiring finally becomes coherent with the life you are building. And those identity shifts that I talked to you about, they are the literal bridge between where you are and where your soul is already living. If this conversation is hitting home, I want to hear about it. And you can come and find me on Instagram at Michelle Marie Pacheco, or you can jump into our private Facebook community, Rewire to Align, both linked in the show notes, and tell me what part of your life feels like it's shifting right now. I told you where I'm at the moment, and I read every single message, every single comment, and honestly, hearing your stories is the best part of my day because it makes me happy because I know that you're out there. And hey, if you have a friend who is currently spiraling because she feels out of place or out of order in her own life, send her this episode. Sometimes, friend, the most powerful medicine we can give someone is the reminder that they are not broken. They're just growing. Amiga Bella, if your life feels a little off right now, please stop assuming you're doing it wrong. The truth, you've simply outgrown that version of yourself that built the life you're currently living. That itchy space in between where the old you is fading and the new you hasn't quite stuck the landing is exactly where alignment is born. So be gentle with your system today. Transformation isn't just about changing your circumstances. It's about having the courage to let your identity evolve, because the life you're trying to create is already waiting for the version of you that can hold it. I'm sending you love, and I look forward to seeing you in the April workshop. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I love creating it. If what you heard today resonated with you, the best way to support the show is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback helps me continue creating content that empowers you and deepens your spiritual connection. Just scroll down to write a review and share your thoughts. And if you love what Rewire to Align is about, share it with your friends and family. I truly believe the world transforms when we come together to create positive change. I look forward to be with you again next week.